The ancient Sanskrit word that refers to love is Leela. Leela means play. The relationship between God and his wife is called Leela, which means play. For a long time I couldn't understand this word. Why play? What kind of games? This is love. It's supposed to be serious. Love itself is very serious, but it happens in an atmosphere of play, where the purpose is to serve the happiness of a loved one. That's more or less how it works. I asked my wife, "My dear, can you tell me, why do you love your father?" She said, "When I was little and went to rhythmic gymnastics, he would always walk me to the door. And when I came back, he was standing there near the entrance. I asked him, 'Papa, why are you standing here?' He said, 'Sweetheart, I'm waiting for you.' 'Have you been standing here long?' 'Since you left, I've been standing right here.' Of course, even a little girl knew he hadn't really been standing there the whole time, but it felt so nice that he said it. This is called play that is meant to make another person happy. Here's what I did. I live in a house, and my wife happened to walk by my window. I noticed she was coming home. I stood up. When she opened the door with her key, she saw me standing there, got a bit startled and asked, 'Why are you standing here?' I said, 'I'm waiting for you. I've been standing here since you left.' That wasn't true. The woman looks at her husband in surprise, as if she sees absolute truth in front of her. He says something and she replies, 'Yes, my dear. Now I have a question for you. Do women have a natural tendency to agree with their husbands?'
Yes.
Wow, incredible.
It depends on the situation. If it benefits me, I'll agree.
There's one more situation where you'll agree.
When there's love.
When you've fallen in love. When you're in love, a woman will always say, 'Yes, my dear.' He says, 'I'm a pilot. Do you like pilots?' She says, 'Yes.' Even if she never thought about it before. Suddenly she likes pilots. He thinks, 'Wonderful. She likes pilots. I always dreamed I would fly and she would wait for me. She likes pilots.' Because she loves him, so she likes pilots. Now the question is, what if the love fades? What should you do? You just need to act the same way so that it reawakens, because it hasn't disappeared. It just doesn't move on its own. If you agree with a man, 'Yes, my dear, yes,' then he feels loved. Otherwise, he doesn't feel love. When a woman argues, the man doesn't feel love. Now another question. If I always agree, will I get what I want in a relationship? 10 times faster, because that's how God designed relationships. Is a woman a generous person or not?
Yes.
What if your husband takes your money and spends it?
We were thinking more about energetic generosity, giving love, and so on.
Generosity is a material quality. It shows the ability to give material things. Giving love is not generosity. It's called selflessness. It's something different. So is a woman generous? No. Is a man generous? Yes. When a man gives away his money, he doesn't think twice. He gives it and completely forgets. But if a woman gives her money, she will never forget. A man has 2 modes. One is stinginess, the other is generosity. What do you think? When does a man become generous and when does he become stingy?
When he falls in love.
That's true, but falling in love has passed. Now life begins. That's it. The fairy tale is over. Because a fairy tale is when there's love, when heroes defeat evil, like the 3-headed dragon or the immortal villain, when they struggle for something. That's a fairy tale. But then everything gets short and simple. The end of the story, well done if you listened. They lived together and built a good life. And that's it, the end. But then comes the rest of their life after the fairy tale, you understand, and there's no more falling in love.
Respect.
Yes, we are talking about respect. Why does a man become generous and why does he become stingy? He can treat the same woman either generously or very stingily, and sometimes a woman doesn't know what to do when the man is always stingy. He constantly behaves in a stingy way. She thinks, how can I live with someone like that? And today we are looking for answers. What do you think turns on a man's generosity?
Female energy.
Female energy is not a very reliable thing. Because if you believe your female energy is what activates him, then 10 years later, a younger woman with stronger energy may come along, and she'll activate your husband faster than you.
When he feels the woman loves him.
And what does it mean to love?
She agrees with him, listens to him.
You see, we're getting to the point. A woman might say, I love you, I'm all tra-la-la in front of you, but that only works for a while. Because there is physical love and there is emotional love, and emotional love in a man awakens when he sees that a woman understands him. Right now we're talking about respect. And for a man, understanding means recognition. That's the only form of understanding he accepts. If you don't recognize a man, you will never see generosity from him. He shuts down because to him, she is not his woman. A woman who doesn't agree with him, he doesn't consider her his at all. He sees a woman as his only when she agrees with him. Now, ladies, this raises a new question. I keep asking you again and again, you see everything in your man and never forget. That's how a woman's mind works. She notices her man's flaws and remembers them forever. A man notices a woman's flaws but always forgets, because her beauty puts him in a kind of illusion. She smiles and he forgets everything. But a woman forgets nothing. A man says to a woman, surprised, "How could you even do that?" She pulls out the machine gun of memories, "And you did this and that." She recalls everything he did, then, and fires at him in perfect chronological order. And so he was born, was bad, and died. A woman remembers everything. Therefore, a woman should understand how a man functions. This knowledge is hidden and hard to attain. Love continues after infatuation only in an atmosphere of playfulness. You need to nod to the man, "Yes, my dear," even though deep inside you know he's being foolish and really getting on your nerves. Still, my dears, you have to agree with him because that brings him into the zone of generosity, and that's the only thing you really need from a man. When he is in this generous state, all your needs will be taken care of.
Then you need to know all the rules of the game.
Excellent. That's a brilliant point. You need to know all the rules of the game. Here, take a tangerine. Exactly. It's a great thought. You need to know all the rules. That's what we're doing right now. Today we're only talking about respect. If there's respect, everything else will naturally fall into place. A woman behaves in a way that makes a man feel understood, because a man is born for victory, responsibility, and seriousness. Every man has this inside. If a woman sees it and says, "Yes, my dear," it means she loves him. If she acts this way, then her affection, care, love, and loving energy enter his heart. Nothing can be done if you don't respect him as a man. He simply won't love you. You should act in a way that he feels listened to, because a woman cannot always obey. She's naturally not submissive. Let me explain why. A man forgets his own desires, but a woman never forgets hers. He tells her to save money, but she just can't. Every woman has her own can't, and in that area she becomes uncontrollable. Some women simply have to go on a trip from time to time. If they don't get that chance, they feel like they're going crazy. Raise your hand, ladies, if you need to travel somewhere once in a while, and such women will never change. They'll always be like that. You can't stop them. It's easier to kill them than to make them stay home. Now raise your hand if you can't live without a cat or a dog. That's it. Nothing can be done. Raise your hand if you need to spend time alone sometimes, or you'll just lose it. It means she'll lock herself in her room, and you can think whatever you want. You may think she doesn't love you, or doesn't want to see you, or that she'll never come out. A woman's desire cannot be defeated or suppressed. There are women who always want jewelry or something new. That's it. You can't change that. She will never stop wanting these things. It's an uncontrollable zone. So if you marry a woman, you must understand her uncontrollable zones, where she will definitely make you do what she wants. Otherwise, she'll drive you crazy. She may hold back for a while, but eventually she'll want it anyway. Men also have their issues. One of them is not being able to relax. If a man feels pressure at home too, and the one thing that stresses him out is when his wife disagrees with him, then he's in a state of war. A man has two modes. One, the fighting rooster, and the other, a kind, generous man. If the wife disagrees, he becomes the rooster, always fighting, always tense. But if she agrees, he becomes kind and generous. It's very important to understand. The man governs principles and the woman governs life. Or in practical matters, a woman doesn't need principles. She just needs to live. She lives her life. The man says, "We should save money." What should the wife say? If she says, "No, we won't," then he turns into a rooster and starts fighting with her. But if she says, "Yes, my dear," then what? Are you at a loss? No. You can come to him any time and say, "My dear, can I buy this?" He'll reply, "We're saving money." You say, "Yes," and that's it. He buys you what you want. Because the main thing is we are saving money. You understand the need to save. And she says, "Yes, yes, yes." Then we go and buy it. There's no logic here. And you might say, "What if he tries to limit my life?" Just agree and continue living. It's contradictory. It doesn't make sense. But a woman should rise above logic. She should know how to behave. It's the woman who runs the family. The energy of love is guided by the woman, and she does it with feminine wisdom. because wise women agree and foolish women argue. Wise women easily get everything they want in life. This applies not only to family life, it applies even to leadership, even if a woman is a director. Should she argue with people or not? Look, a woman is a director and someone has made a mistake. Should she scold him? She says, Mr. Johnson, you're a good man, but maybe this isn't the right place for you. We're letting you go. He says, forgive me, I acted foolishly. I'm sorry, please don't fire me. She replies, all right, just this once. And next time, when it's time to fire him, her assistant will come and say, Mrs. Smith is busy, you've been let go. A woman doesn't have to quarrel with anyone. She can resolve all issues with a gentle, flexible approach, but if she starts a conflict, she suffers, and so does everyone around her. If a woman is truly strong, she agrees with everyone. And she does the same with her children. A boy asks, Mom, can I go out to play? Yes, but first do your homework. And he goes to do his homework because Mom agreed. A man lives by principles. He is made of rules. A woman lives by desires. A woman should follow the man's principle. The Vedas say a woman is like a river, and the man is the riverbank. The riverbanks guide the river's flow. For example, some women want to travel somewhere, but these same women may not be allowed to go alone. In such cases, the husband should travel with her. That's the limitation. Otherwise, she might drift away from him. Some women can't help being attracted to other men. But they can stay with their husband for life if he is close. If he's not around, she slips away. She comes under someone else's influence. She is very emotional, and when someone falls for her, she can't resist. There are women like that. The husband needs to understand that this is how his wife is and travel with her on vacation. Don't let her go alone. Some women are not like this. In other words, a man is like the riverbank and a woman is like the river. The river means life. If the woman is happy, everyone in the family is happy. If a woman is in a good mood, the husband feels good, the children feel good, the dog feels good, even the cockroaches feel good. Even if they don't know why, a woman's energy fills the home and she constantly adjusts it. She spreads the energy of love throughout the house. When a man enters the house, he feels relaxed because he senses that loving energy. And how does the woman create it? She sets up everything the way she likes. She arranges the whole house. The worst possible birthday gift for a woman is when a man decides to change the furniture on his own, like buying a cupboard or something else without asking her. Will a woman accept such a gift?
She'll accept it, but she won't be fully happy about it.
I once tried this experiment. I went to India and decided to buy earrings for my wife. I can sense what people need. It's a natural ability I have. You, the lady in bright red, this color suits you very well. But soft light green also suits you a lot. I can sense people's nature. I feel what suits whom. You, nodding at me, the woman with light hair, earrings with long, thin, elegant shapes suit you. Now listen carefully. I chose 40 different types of earrings for my wife that I thought she'd like. Out of those 40, she only liked 2 pairs, and when I bought them, she rejected one right away. She said, I made a mistake. She wore the other pair for a week, and that was it. That's when I realized I have no chance of picking something she truly likes. No chance at all, even though I have the ability. That's why a man shouldn't buy a woman jewelry or home decor. Anything she has to wear or live with, she has to choose it herself. Why am I telling you all this? Because it's the woman who creates the environment, the beauty, the space where the family lives. She does everything to make herself happy, and the man lives in that happiness. He may not like how she does things, but he likes the smell of the apartment. He likes all the little decorations. So is the atmosphere in the house masculine or feminine?
Feminine.
Is everything decorated with little flags and cannons, or with flowers? What shape are the beds? Soft and gentle.
What if there's a corner in the apartment that's set aside for the man?
My dear, maybe you've given him a small corner, but you'll still be the one cleaning it, and you'll be the one arranging everything there. Even if he puts something differently, it will still end up exactly how you want, even in that tiny corner. And if another woman appears in this apartment, there will be a war for territory until the end of time. Because the woman controls the space, while the man just lives in it.
A man lives at work and only comes home to rest.
Yes, so now we are learning about each other. A woman is like a river. Because she lives, she feels happiness, she creates, she radiates emotions. The man supports her life. To support her, he must set rules that she should follow. If she doesn't follow them, the family falls apart. If the man prevents the woman from living, the family is destroyed. It's the woman who creates comfort. If the man interferes with that, it becomes unbearable for her to live with him. She just cannot. He blocks her life. If a man suppresses a woman's desire and says, "We're not going to have this," for example, she says, "I want a child," and he replies, "There will be no child. Her life is over. That's it." Because a woman lives for happiness, not for some goal. Let's say a woman tells a man, "You're not a strong person." She tells him, "You're weak." His life with her is over. That's it. There's no life for him after that, because a man lives to be strong. And a woman lives to be happy. If a man says, "You are weak," she replies, "Yes, I'm weak." She doesn't need strength, she needs happiness. A woman is born for happiness, so you can't block her flow. If you build a dam, she will fill up. She will never forget her desire. She'll keep filling. Then she has three options. Either flow around it and still get her way cleverly, or overflow and break the dam, or fill up and then flow away, leave the man. But one way or another, she will follow her desires. A man can limit his desires, and he should. But he must not limit his goals in life. He must set goals and reach them, and no one should stand in the way of his path, because a man who doesn't achieve his goals becomes weak and lost. He can't live a full life anymore. A woman who doesn't respect her husband's goals can never become his beloved wife. This area, conversations, is extremely important for a man. If he says, "I'm working towards this," and she replies, "That's nonsense," then he'll start looking for another woman. Even if he doesn't want to, he may want to stay with her, but inside the search will begin. Because he needs a woman who understands his goals. Even if you as his wife disagree with his work, you should still encourage and inspire him in it.
Do men sometimes fail to appreciate?
It's not like that. There are simply immature or unengaged men, and women are partly responsible too. For example, a mother spoils her son and doesn't involve him in his own development. He turns into something soft and lazy, just drifts around enjoying life, unwilling to do anything. What should we do? Boys should be engaged through sports and girls through creative activities. Today, many children are affected by a certain modern invention, and the name speaks for itself: gadgets. These gadgets grab children and ruin them. Boys need to grow through physical activity. Without movement, a man becomes weak, like a rag. A man needs to move on his own because willpower is the foundation of his life, and willpower is always awakened through action. He needs real victories, not virtual ones, and true winning starts with conquering oneself. If he only beats others but not himself, he's not a real winner.
What if he doesn't want to?
It means he's not engaged.
What if he does sports, keeps a routine, but when it's time to face challenges, he hides in a comfortable imaginary world?
Do you want to understand what to do?
If I keep agreeing, he'll just keep sitting there. What's the solution? It's like a math problem, Dr. Torsunov. Solve it for us.
That's a difficult problem you've asked me. He goes to sports activities, but do you praise him?
Of course.
Then if he avoids doing what's right, you need to gently distance yourself. Stop building closeness, but do it with kindness. We've jumped ahead a little. This topic is called meeting and separation. I'd like to speak about it tomorrow. Today, let's begin with respect. Without respect, there's no love. First, I'm helping you understand each other's nature. You need to understand that a man can be engaged in two ways. One way is to see him as a man and encourage him. The other is when you don't see the man in him, and you choose not to continue the relationship but kindly without conflict. If he's emotionally frozen, just step back, then wait. He won't respond right away.
But when can one be happy?
In this situation, there's no happiness either way. If a man doesn't want to be a man, if he shows weakness, then living with him won't bring happiness. Or you can guide him through distance. That's another option. Teaching each other is a natural part of relationships. Both men and women need it. If we don't want to teach or we can't, then a person becomes soft and lazy, like a bun. He becomes very weak. But let's continue this tomorrow. It's a hard issue to solve. It requires several steps. Step 1, you feel very upset about his behavior. In this emotional state, you can't help him or yourself. First, you need to accept your destiny. Pray to God for the strength not just to endure it, but to truly accept it. Once you've accepted him, stay calm and kind and quietly step back. You still respect him, but you stop interacting. And then his conscience awakens. He tries to become the way you want him to be. Let me give you an example. There are only boys in a classroom. Then a girl walks in. Do you think their behavior will change? Now, 2 scenarios. First, imagine there are 5 boys in the class. The girl treats one boy kindly, but she's upset with another. Do you think both boys will behave the same way in front of her? If the girl is angry, the boy will try to get back at her. But if she treats him nicely, he'll try to show he's better than the others. He'll act in a way that makes her admire him. This is the basis for understanding male behavior. If a woman is against a man, he will attack her in some way. But if a woman supports him while keeping some distance, he'll try to prove he's a good man. That's how he is. Men usually act in just two ways. One, take revenge or tease. The second, protect the woman. These are the only two options. Either tease or protect, that's it. He can't behave any other way with a woman. There is no neutral behavior because a woman naturally influences men. A woman is made of influence and a man of action. Did you know that? A woman doesn't chase anyone, she waits, but her inner power is so strong that a man starts caring for her, trying to show he loves her. This power is always coming from a woman. It makes a man act in one of two ways. If she's kind to him, he wants to prove he's a good person. But if she fights with him, he tries to break her, to tease her. He wants to make her give up.
What if the man does everything else well, but doesn't take care of his health? Like sleeping late, not exercising. Can I do something about that?
You can in several stages. First, accept that he eats chocolate and stop worrying. Second, learn what helps a man to rest. Every man lives under pressure. He only starts healing when he ends up in intensive care. He doesn't realize he's tired or unwell. That's just how a man's mind works. He feels nothing. The woman feels everything for him. So a woman needs to understand how to help him relax, read a guide, learn about it, then start doing it yourself and keep telling him how great this lifestyle is. Through your own positive experience, he will slowly understand that it might be good for him too. It's a slow process. Changing a person's mindset takes time, but once a man switches to a healthy way of life, he won't forget it. The tool he adopts will stay with him for life. This is a slow path. But if you scold and force him, he will become angry and do the opposite, because a man will never accept hostility from a woman. A woman can do whatever she wants with a man, but only through a gentle, compliant approach. And for this, you need to first accept him as he is, and then show him that you love him, but you don't agree with such behavior. You kindly, gently distance yourself from him to show him that there will be no close relationship if he behaves like this. And he will try to persuade you, will gently try to approach you so that you treat him better. Understanding comes sequentially. If you don't understand how to respect a person, it's impossible to discipline them. Discipline begins when there is complete mutual respect. If there is no respect, there will be no possibility to discipline the person. It's impossible.
What should I do when in anger I commit a wrong action toward my husband, and the next day I understand and ask for forgiveness? But after some time, the same thing happens again?
This is not the same thing. If you understand what is right and do what is wrong and then apologize, this is not the same thing. It's not the same at all. When a person doesn't understand what is right and defends their position, that's what we do. This destroys life. If you understand how the energy of love works, and I will repeat this to you 1,000 times so that you understand, then there will be no problems at all. If you maintain an atmosphere of playfulness in your family at home, if you joke with your loved one, smile at him, even when he is angry, then it will be easy for you to live with him. Because love works very well in this atmosphere. It flows very easily if you don't take anything too personally and don't expect anything from your loved one. You know that you can't get anything from him. There's nothing you can do about him. He is what he is, and you simply love him as he is. To love means to do what he likes. Women like very close communication. When I come home, I don't feel like sitting down and communicating in this way. My dear wife, how are you feeling? You are so beautiful. I just want to eat and watch TV.
So what do you do then?
I come home, approach my wife, sit down with her and say, "My dear, I am so happy to see you today. Please tell me how you are doing."
But most men don't do that.
This means you need to learn. You've learned how he should act, but he doesn't behave that way and you want him to. But you always need to start with yourself. So what do you think? Who should be the first in your family to start changing themselves?
Should the woman do it?
No, that's not right. The one who came to the lecture. God has chosen you. You are the best. It means you will suffer at first. God endured and told us to do the same. Therefore, a step into the abyss is when a person is the first to start doing what is necessary, because there is always an invisible war between a man and a woman. The woman wants to achieve her goals, the man his, they are at war. But someone has to stop fighting and start helping their loved one. This is called respect. Respect is only possible when you behave in a light style, because a woman can never truly respect her husband. She knows everything about him, she knows him inside out, she knows him better than a neighbor, but she can respect a neighbor because she only knows him from his good side. And she knows everything about her husband. And therefore she will never be able to respect him, but she should behave with him in such a way that he feels respect. This is called playing at love. And this is real love, because when she behaves this way, he will show his best qualities and then she will truly respect him. If I approach my wife and say, "My dear, how are you feeling?" she starts to be capricious. I say, "Yes, of course, it's wrong that I did that. I don't actually think I did anything wrong, and I never will think so." I say this to make her happy. And then when I see that she is happy, I understand that I did something wrong. Understanding comes later when you engage in love, because love generates knowledge. You will get knowledge about your loved one when you love them. And love in this case means always doing what the person likes. And this is simply correct behavior. This is not what we want. People think that love is a spontaneous thing. If I feel like smiling at you, I will smile. And you should make it so that I want to. That's how people think. Everyone is fighting each other for the right to enjoy love. A woman defends women's rights. A man defends men's rights. There is a war going on. This means disrespect. War means disrespect. Respect is when you lay down your weapons and become the first to go into the abyss. You give in, and you do not act for yourself. You do what is dangerous to do. It's dangerous for a woman to say to her husband, "Yes, my dear," because he will become impudent. And when you say, "Yes, my dear," he feels needed. He feels that he is strong. He feels that she loves him. Many, many good things happen, my dear friends. And when he becomes a little impudent, you can just kindly distance yourself a little and show that this won't work out with you. And then he'll understand. He'll say, "I'm sorry, my dear, I'm wrong." And this is where love begins. When your loved one agrees that they are wrong, from that moment love begins. But you have to wait for this, my dear friends. After 2 years of constantly agreeing, I approached my wife and asked her, "My dear, do you think it is normal that in our relationship one person is always right and the other is always wrong?" And she said, "It's normal," and walked away. And after that she began to change. But it took some time for her to understand. I tried very hard to make her feel good, but then the time came and she realized that she also needed to make an effort. And this is called reciprocity. It comes with time, but first you have to invest in a relationship. And when a person invests, there is only one danger. This danger is called humiliation, and all people are afraid of it. You know, a person is humiliated in a relationship when they expect too much from their close one. If you direct your expectations to God and start praying, live a life with prayer, then you can learn to live in love because you stop expecting anything from your close person. One of my acquaintances came to his mentor and said, "I have already accepted this from my wife and accepted that I accepted everything. I no longer expect anything from her. Maybe I should go to a monastery. I have accepted everything." The mentor said, "Now your happy life will begin. If you have accepted everything now, act so that she is happy. And don't expect that you will be happy. Don't expect that you will ever be happy with her. Just do things to make her happy. And after some time, she will become grateful to you for living for her like this. And from that moment, love begins. It begins when finally gratitude appears, and it can only appear through respect if you yourself begin to respect the person close to you. And this is a step into the abyss. It's very difficult for a woman. Yes, my dear, yes. Very difficult, especially if she takes the relationship seriously. But you need to take it lightly. If you understand how love works, then everything falls into place easily, because people confuse love with seriousness. They start to figure things out, clarify things, go to psychologists. You understand? Love means a light style. When a man treats a woman in a light manner, communicates with her easily, talks tenderly, affectionately, she falls in love while he's just playing with her. But there are serious men who seriously bring flowers, but she's not interested in them, because love is a game. There are men who attract women by playing with them. But you can play without attracting, just doing it honestly. Love means a very light relationship in the family with jokes and kindness. A gentle style. You need to forgive a woman's whims. A woman really likes to be capricious in the family. She simply adores it. Why does she do this? To be understood. She constantly makes herself be understood because it's very important for a woman to be seen by her husband, because a man sees a woman's beauty. And when she understands that he only sees her beauty, she becomes very sad because she wants him to see her as a person. All women expect to be understood by a man. Therefore, you need to constantly ask, how are you feeling? How are you doing? How can I help you? What can I do for you? Love for a woman is expressed like this. Do you agree, ladies?
Something like that. Not asking, but helping around the house.
So good. What to help with around the house? See? She smiled. That's what I'm talking about. That means she can be capricious. She says that a man shouldn't just talk, but do. Some women say, talk to me. You don't need to do anything. You're always doing things. Talk to me. No, you need to do. You need to do. This is called love. A woman should definitely be capricious. She should say, this is wrong, that is wrong, I want this, you're so bad. Raise your hand, ladies, who, as revenge, can tell their husband an untruth that destroys the relationship with the purpose of making him feel bad. For example, that you never loved him and that you should get divorced. Raise your hand, look around, see women are raising their hands. All the others are too shy. My wife says to me, we are not right for each other. We need to get divorced because our energies are different, completely incompatible. At the moment when she says this, it is 100% true because a woman has two states. And the first state of a woman or any girl is, I love. The second state, I don't love. And this is what a man needs to understand too, because this second state of not loving is also very sincere. She sincerely believes that we are not compatible, that I don't love. Then the next day she sincerely believes that I love and we are compatible.
In no other way?
No. A woman is woven from love, and when she feels love, she immediately starts to give it away. And at another moment she doesn't feel love and believes that we are astrologically incompatible and is 100% sure of this. This is how female nature works. I explained it to my wife. I said, tomorrow you will feel that we are not compatible, for example. She agreed. Does this mean that we are not compatible? She said, I don't know. At the moment when she started telling me, we are not compatible, we better get divorced, I very kindly told her, because you simply don't feel love today, but tomorrow you will feel it. She said, yes, that's right, and she stopped telling me these things. A woman will still feel and think this way, but will no longer say it because she will understand that it's not really true. A woman needs to figure herself out. Today she feels, tomorrow she doesn't feel. You need to understand that all of this is constantly changing for her, but that doesn't mean you need to break up. But for a man, everything is different. For example, if she tells him, there's no love between us, he thinks that we need to separate if there is no love. He doesn't perceive it today like this, tomorrow like that. He takes it all seriously if he's being stupid. My wife told me the next day, I don't believe my own words. Why do you believe them? You're a man after all. I got it. Why do I believe her words if she doesn't believe them herself? Should a man believe a woman's words?
No.
No, he should just calm her down. He should talk to her as if nothing is happening, and she likes it so much. A woman really likes when a man doesn't take what she says seriously, but at the same time wants to help her. All women are smiling.
What if I don't need him to talk to me, but I need him to take out the rubbish?
He has to take out the rubbish. It's very difficult for a man to take out the rubbish, because it's not in his nature. My wife asked me to cut greens for salad. I said I'd do it with pleasure. I always know this is very important for a woman. I started cutting vegetables. She came over and said, look, you're cutting the cucumbers in big chunks, but they need to be this thin. I started sweating, really. It's easier for me to heal a person than to slice cucumbers thin, because my senses work differently. I can't slice them, but rather chop them into cubes. I can't slice thin and quickly. I can't do it. Because I have a male nature, the same goes for taking out the garbage. A woman's selflessness manifests in taking care. It's very easy for a woman to take care of everyone. She loves doing it. She gets tired from it, of course, but it's easy for her. And for a man, it's very difficult. For example, it's easy for a man to give money. His generosity is in the financial sphere, and a woman's generosity is in taking care. I'm speaking selfishly. I'm just describing human nature.
This is just some kind of wordplay.
Why is this wordplay? For example, a man brings his salary to the family. Is this wordplay or not?
A woman also brings her salary to the family.
Does a woman bring her salary to the family or to herself?
To the family, because the woman is the family.
If a woman brings her salary to the family, who will spend this salary further?
The woman.
But it's his family. He wants a family, children.
Where does a woman bring her salary?
To the family.
She brings the salary to herself.
When she buys food with this money, cooks for him.
My dear, if a man takes the money that she earned for herself for his own needs, she will strangle him.
I disagree.
Okay, so if she doesn't strangle him, then she will die from suffering. There's a Jewish joke. First stage, the woman is sick. Second stage, she's very sick. Third stage, she's a widow. Do you understand why he died? Because he lived on your money.
No, he worked equally with me. He didn't live on my money.
My dears, are you going to listen, or are we going to argue until the end of time, because I study you through your life?
But the truth is also born in debate.
Hemorrhoids are born in debate, and the truth is born in listening. The current life situation is that women also work and give money to the family, but you ladies should understand. There is hot women's money, or money that doesn't bring happiness, and there is light or cold money that brings happiness. When a man gives money, it's money that blesses the family, giving development and happiness. When a woman brings money, it's money that she tears away from herself. Because she earns money for her own life. If she spends it on food, it's because she wants to spend it on that. But if he buys tennis rackets for himself with a woman's money, she will not forgive him for this. This is what I'm talking about, my dear friends. Try to understand this. You can nod your head if you want. You can listen if you want, or not listen if you don't want to. It's your personal business, but you will have to live your own life, because there are certain conclusions from this. And the conclusions are very simple. If a woman honestly spends her money on her own needs, she is happy and lives peacefully. And if she gives it to her husband to spend, she will not be able to live happily and peacefully. Because female nature is not woven from generosity towards money, it is woven from greed towards money, and male nature is woven from generosity towards money and greed towards taking care. It's very difficult for a man to take out garbage. It's easier for him to earn money. Oh, you started to agree, my dears.
We were already in agreement, but we needed to argue.
We're just Canadians, we need to argue.
This is a discussion of different individualities in life.
I'm telling you a pattern now.
By and large, it's as you say, but there are exceptions.
Of course there are exceptions, but let's discuss the main thing now. We'll discuss exceptions later, otherwise you won't let me give the lecture. Of course you are always right, ladies, I'll still remain a fool.
So your theory has been confirmed.
Of course, definitely, therefore it's better for a woman to be silent when a lecture is going on. Otherwise, my theory will always be confirmed, but there will be no lecture. So the husband should take out the garbage. Because the woman wants it, he needs to take it out. But the woman should understand that it's not in his nature to take out the garbage. If she wanted it, asked for it, and he did it, because the man needs to take it out, that doesn't mean that this is what he should be doing. She just wants him to do something good for her so that she feels happiness and love. He can clean the apartment, take out the garbage, but it's not in his nature. He won't do it with pleasure. He will get tired from it and won't do it with quality. For example, if you wash the floor, you will wash around each leg of furniture, but he will wash in a straight line. In a straight line. Because his mind doesn't work in a way to wash the floor around the legs of the sofa. He will wash straight. He washes as he can, because his senses are arranged differently. Therefore, there is male activity and there is female activity. A woman works for her pleasure. A man works for development. When a woman works for pleasure, she also earns for pleasure. She earns money for her own pleasure. And a man earns for the family. That's the difference. Whether you ladies want to argue with this or not, nothing changes from that. Therefore, you need to invest in a man so that he earns more. A woman has the energy of money and the energy of blessing. The energy of blessing works much stronger in a woman than her female energy of money. If a woman earns more than a man, it's a curse for the family. This woman will never be happy in this family. She will constantly think about the fact that she earns more, and she will suffer. If he earns more, she feels good, she's relaxed. Therefore, invest in helping your husband earn more. This works better than earning money yourself. For this, you need to listen to Dr. Torsunov. I've entered a zone of stinginess. Women simply don't appreciate me. They argue with me all the time. They don't say, "Dr. Torsunov, you're so great. Thank you for your knowledge." They constantly grumble. How am I going to give this lecture? I'll just sit in silence. When I arrived in Israel for repatriation, there was a poster hanging, "Don't try to be smart. Everyone here is Jewish." Jewish women are special in this regard. Okay, everything's fine. We've gotten to know each other a little. It's time to finish the lecture, right? So, my dear friends, we are studying the nature of relationships. We learned today that the energy of love only exists in a light style. If in your family you constantly aggravate the situation, argue all the time, try to prove your point, your family will soon fall apart. It won't last long. If in your family you try, on the contrary, to soften everything, settle things, turn it into a joke, you try to please your loved one, although it's not easy, then, in this case, your family will prosper over time. We need to understand how the human psyche works. A man needs to be appreciated. A man is a person who is woven from the desire for knowledge, victory, development. Therefore, ladies, you need to be gentler with him. Don't argue too much, because this dampens a man's enthusiasm, doesn't allow him to move forward. A woman is woven from tenderness, and you need to treat her affectionately. Agreement is needed with both a man and a woman. It's just different. So respect is the foundation of love. No respect, no love. You should respect the person out of a sense of duty, not because you suddenly realize that you should respect them. We will never understand this. A woman will never understand what her husband's strength is, because she sees all his weaknesses. A man will never understand what his wife's tenderness is, because she constantly nags him. If a man begins to treat a woman affectionately, and a woman begins to treat a man respectfully, and they do this in a light style because it's impossible in a heavy style, you need to truly believe that your husband is strong, but it's impossible because he's not like that. And you need to truly believe that your wife is so gentle, affectionate, kind, but she's actually not like that. You need to behave exactly this way, otherwise there will be no love. You can try to live differently, but nothing will work. I've been giving lectures for 30 years. I've seen hundreds of thousands of families and know exactly what will happen next. Therefore, my dear friends, choose the right path so that later you don't suffer from everything falling apart. Study each other. Maybe not everything I've said is clear, but try to understand it. Try to understand what a light style is. This doesn't mean that you don't have depth in your relationship. Depth will definitely be there. It just won't be in your debates, but in hearts. If you behave in a light style, there will be a lot of depth in your heart. My wife and I have a lot of depth in our hearts, but outwardly I behave in a very light manner with her. I try to make her very happy. I behave gently, affectionately. I tolerate her whims, emotions. But over time, there's less to tolerate because the relationship is built. When people already feel comfortable in a relationship, it becomes easier for them. You both are sitting with your arms crossed. Do you know why?
I'm sitting like this because my arm hurts a lot.
My dear friends, let's all relax. What questions do you have?
I wish you happiness.
Thank you very much.
Why is it difficult for a man to throw out the garbage from the bin?
Men, raise your hand if it's absolutely no trouble for you to take out the garbage, honestly. You see, there are men who have no trouble taking out the garbage because their wives have trained them to do it over many years. A man can get used to something as a result of his wife asking him many, many times, but the first time it will be very difficult for him to take it out.
What if he doesn't like garbage in the house?
Yes, sometimes a man has a tendency toward cleanliness. He loves cleanliness. He is self-motivated to take out the trash. We're talking about human nature now. A woman is inclined to take care. A man can take out the garbage because he wants the house to be clean. This is his goal. He perceives it as a goal. This can happen, but you still can't change nature. Let's say he likes to take out the garbage to keep the house clean, but he won't sew up shoes.
Garbage is just an example. If I want to improve the relationship in our family, and I understand that it's not in my husband's nature, and it's actually difficult for him, then what's the right way? Just start taking out the garbage myself? You said that a man should take out the garbage because his wife asks him.
Let's analyze this situation deeper. Why do you ask him to take out the garbage?
Because I don't want to take all the responsibilities on myself.
No, that's not the reason. Because you don't feel that he values you, loves you, and cares for you. You work around the house and he doesn't notice it. That's the problem. But if he said, "You are my beloved, dear, how can I help you now? What can I do for you?"
He'll ask when I take it out myself.
When you take it out yourself, you see what the problem is? The problem is that you don't see that he values what you do. But even if he does value it, why would he take out the garbage?
For me.
So that you would be happy. I go to the kitchen and start washing a plate. My wife comes up, smiles, and says, "Don't bother, I'll wash it myself." Does this mean that I shouldn't go to the kitchen and wash the plate? No.
It's nice.
That's why I do it, because when I wash it, she'll have to rewash it anyway. A man cannot wash dishes in a way that a woman would like. She won't like it anyway, it needs to be rewashed, but she's pleased because he wants to do something for her. That's the point of your request, take out the garbage. It means, do you love me? Do you value my work at all? Do you want to do something for me? That's what it means, right?
I have a question. How to raise a boy. I have sons. And I ask them to take out the garbage, and they help me. It's not in their nature. It turns out they're taking out the garbage against their nature. And they are being raised with this.
My dear, I like your perfectionism, but that's not what I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about human nature and how to engage it. If you've taught your boys to take out the garbage, there's nothing wrong with that. You've taught them, and they will do it. If you teach a boy to wash the floor, he will wash the floor. Men simply have a certain feature called habit. If a man develops a certain habit, he will easily do it all his life. He won't have problems with it. But cleaning the house is not a man's nature. Let me give you an example. Let's say a crocodile is very comfortable swimming in water, and an elephant is very comfortable on land. When an elephant goes into the water, the crocodile is stronger, and when the crocodile crawls onto land, the elephant becomes stronger. There is a person's natural habitat, and house cleaning is not a man's natural habitat. It's not his nature, it's not his life, you understand? But he can acquire some habit there. If you don't teach your sons to earn money, they won't be happy in life, because they need to develop their nature first, and only then develop what is not their nature. You can train your boys to cook, do laundry, clean. They will get used to it automatically and will do it. But if they cannot develop in their work, if they don't bring home a salary, your sons won't bring happiness to anyone. No woman will be happy with them.
How do I teach my sons this?
You don't need to teach a person how to live.
How to teach them to earn money?
You don't need to teach a person how to live. Life is a natural thing for a person. Male nature needs to be activated. It starts with training. My father engaged me by putting me in sambo. I was thrown onto mats about 150 times a day. I learned to become a man. I didn't like that violence was being committed against me. But gradually I learned to feel the ability to win, to overcome difficulties. And this is exactly what engages in a man this desire to win. If he is training and he's learning this, then everything else will engage by itself. He will learn to earn money on his own. You don't need to teach him this. You need to engage him as a man. You need to make sure he doesn't sit at a computer or phone all day. You need to put him in sports while he can still be put there, because there comes an age when you won't be able to do this anymore. Because up to about 12 years old, a child is heavily psychologically dependent on the parents. And you can manipulate them during this time, put them in sports. After puberty, you can no longer manipulate a child. And if he's a couch potato by this age, if he hasn't learned to overcome himself, then he won't learn. He will only learn through suffering. When about 5 women dump him, then he'll understand that he needs to work. A woman will never agree to live with a man who doesn't want to earn money. Never. Not a single woman will agree. Even if she agrees to it, there still won't be happiness for them. She will still suffer with him. Similarly, if a woman has learned to earn money, but she can't cook food for her husband, he may agree to eat at restaurants, but he won't have happiness with such a woman. Because happiness with a woman comes when she takes care, and happiness with a man comes when he brings money, when he provides for the family. And this cannot be changed. It's impossible to change nature, do you understand? You can change gender, but it's impossible to change nature. Did we resolve the question? Are you getting used to me gradually? More questions.
I have a couple of clarifications. You said that one shouldn't expect happiness from another person. You were talking about men, and this applies to women too. So I shouldn't expect happiness from my husband and continue to take care of him.
One should expect gratitude. Gratitude will come, and then happiness will come through it.
And you said that there are 2 ways to engage a man: distance and seeing a man in a man. What do you mean by seeing a man in a man?
It means, Dr. Torsunov, we are so glad that you came. You talk, we will listen. This means activating the man in a man. But if you keep stopping him all the time...
To play along?
Yes.
Good.
If a woman was giving a lecture, how should one behave with her?
Gently.
Look at her tenderly. Give compliments. Bring flowers. Does a man need flowers? What does he need?
Respect.
Respect for his views. A man is woven from his views, any man, not just Dr. Torsunov. If you respect his views, then he feels good and feels love. And if you don't respect his views, he feels spat upon.
Good. And one more question about agreeing with him. The girl was talking about chocolate. If he is clearly doing something bad, if, let's say, a man might drink, smoke, or say some absolute nonsense, what should be done?
So the man has bad habits. He drinks, smokes, swears.
Yes, approximately.
This means that your culture of life is incorrect. A woman is responsible for culture. She creates an altar in the home. She teaches a man not to walk without underwear in front of the altar. She teaches him culture. Conscience is female energy, not male. If a woman has established order in the house from the point of view of conscience, then a man will not swear there. If a woman allows a man to do these things, then they will happen. But it's also very important to understand that a man drinks because he experiences tension. There are 3 types of tension. When a man is tense because he's worried, then this leads to drinking. If a man is tense due to willpower functions, meaning his will is overstrained, then this leads to smoking and watching TV series. And if he is tense and becomes disappointed, then this leads to drugs, debauchery, and gambling. Men have 3 types of tension. A woman gets tense through emotions, and therefore she becomes nasty. Or she becomes very withdrawn and doesn't want to deal with anyone. A man gets tense mentally, so he falls into bad habits. If tension lives in the home, a woman becomes very vulnerable and a man drinks, and this is overcome by a healthy lifestyle. And this is another serious topic for discussion. So simply blaming the husband for drinking is pointless, because if he doesn't drink, he will simply have a heart attack or stroke. And a man usually doesn't come to this conclusion, he will just drink and that's it. Because he is tense. But if he replenishes this energy with the right way of life, then he will stop drinking on his own because he won't need it anymore.
How do I ask him to start leading a healthy lifestyle?
You can't. You must go through the path. First start doing it yourself, show him how good it is, and then he will start doing it after you.
How long will it take?
It took 2 years for my wife to start doing what I wanted her to do, but I never asked her. I just ran by myself and told her how good I felt afterward. I would tell her about it after running. At first she understood that I needed to run, and she started making me do it. Then she realized that running is actually cool and asked me, "How do you feel?" Then she started dreaming about running, and then she tried running, realized that a woman's bottom is heavy, running is difficult for her, and she started walking. And she still walks for 4 hours with her friend. You don't have 2 shores of love. You only have the shore of meeting. There is no shore of separation. And this means that you are destroying your family this way. This is a very dangerous situation in your life. You need to learn the shore of separation. This means that you need to behave in such a way that your loved one understands that something is not right in their life. The shore of separation is impossible without God because people become attached to each other. It's easier for them to let their close person live incorrectly than to disturb them, but you will have to disturb them.
Is alcoholism in men only due to tension, or an evil spirit is also present? Such a thing exists, doesn't it? The Vedas don't mention this?
My dear, you are undoubtedly very intelligent. You ask all the right questions, but you don't understand that we are talking about the same things. I just need to explain everything in more detail now. A person has 5 layers of the human energy field. If there is a lack of water energy on the 5th layer, the deepest one, I call this an energetic blockage. A blockage occurs due to the lack of water energy, then a person starts drinking. When there is a lack of water energy, an evil spirit takes advantage of this deficiency. Drinking is the influence of evil spirits from the very beginning. Even if a person drinks a little bit, they fall under the influence of a merry spirit. This is described in the Vedas. But we can talk about different aspects of this bad habit, and the aspect of habit is also present. A person, even one who lives correctly, may be prone to drinking, but this tendency is easily overcome simply by changing the environment. If you don't socialize with those who drink, then you don't drink either because you forget about it. But we're not talking about a bad habit now, but about the fact that men drink because they can't help but drink. If a woman doesn't understand this, she destroys the family, because if a man drinks, it means your whole family is living incorrectly. You need to change this lifestyle, and it's easy for a man to get rid of drinking if his wife loves him. If they live correctly, he will do it for her. I wish you happiness.
Thank you.
Should a man sincerely say, "I've been waiting for you so much"?
This is called a game, a sincere game.
To deceive, but with the purpose of making your wife happy.
That's a very good conclusion. What you just did, you understood what I'm talking about? That's very brave. Remember, there is no love without courage. This behavior is very brave. It is necessary. Only a knowledgeable person can behave so bravely. If you understand how the energy of love works, you will behave so bravely that your loved one will be over the moon next to you. But you just need to understand what game to play. If you don't play feminine games with a woman, she won't understand. What's your name?
Alexandra.
Tell her as a game, how beautiful you are today.
How beautiful you are today.
Did you like it? See, he just said it jokingly and you liked it. This is called love. And it's not easy to understand at first, but if you try to live like this, then it will become clear later. He did this first, and now happiness has started to arise between them. Imagine doing this every day. A man comes home, a woman looks at him, nods to him. The man says, "Oh, my darling," and brings her a flower. There seems to be no reason, but this creates what you try to force from each other. You torture each other, yell, "You don't love me." This won't make love grow. Love only lives in a light environment, and there are people who are trained in this from childhood, and then they have no problems in relationships at all. They never quarrel. They never fight, don't argue, they live well with each other, but this is called upbringing. You just need to know how a woman and a man should behave, and everything else falls into place on its own. But sometimes disappointment, sadness, anger, resentment enter into relationships, because love is a very vulnerable thing, and you just need to ask for forgiveness the next day. Everything will work out again. Nothing can be done about it. I wish you all happiness, peace, love, health. I am very grateful to you for taking time away from your affairs to come to the lecture. Thank you. To learn more on the subject of health and healing of the body, please make sure to read my health guide, available for download on my YouTube channel or on my Instagram page. Thank you very much, and see you soon.